Let's turn to some politics now, and the New Patriotic Party has made a sharp U-turn on its controversial affirmative action directive. Now, a decision by the party's National Executive Committee to restrict men from contesting incumbent female members of parliament sparked protests from some party supporters across the country. But the party's National Council at a news conference yesterday said the decision has been reversed after it was rejected by members at the grassroots level. General Secretary of the party, Kobna Ejejepon, addressed the press after the deliberations.
Having discussed and reflected on the various views expressed and the petitions received, the National Council has accepted the principle of affirmative action as far as female MPs are concerned, but however has directed that a comprehensive plan should be worked out for adoption and implementation at the next annual Congress slated for November 2015, at the next annual Congress of the party. In the meantime, the NC has directed, the National Council has directed that the National Executive Committee's decision on women's only primaries be stood down, that is, it has been withdrawn. I want to state that the meeting directed the party to develop a comprehensive policy on affirmative action, as I said earlier, to be worked out for adoption and implementation at our next conference.
Meanwhile, National Chairman of the party, Paul Afoko, says the decision by the National Council does not in any way mean the NPP is not concerned about affirmative action.
This decision does not mean that the party doesn't support affirmative action. Affirmative action is something that we believe in, and we stand by that decision. What we have agreed is that we are going to go away and make sure that we have a planned program of implementation. Planned program of implementation. That's what we are doing. But we stand by our affirmative action decision and policy.
I would say that this points to another example of the NPP struggling with internal matters, when you should indeed be concentrating on strategizing for the 2016 elections. You spend so much time on this as a party.
We are not distracted from strategizing for the general election. We are not distracted by this. And you can see by the number of people who attended council, by their demeanor when they came out, that we have left this meeting happy and united.
Flagbearer of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo-Dankwa-Akufo-Addo, has also assured party members the decision to review the affirmative action policy is in the best interest of the party. Now, in the wake of the affirmative action debate that seems to have divided members of the NPP, some party members challenged the Flagbearer not to back down on his promise to women in the party some years back. But after a National Council meeting to review the policy, Nana Addo-Dankwa-Akufo-Addo said, though some members may not be happy with the party's decision, it was in the best interest of the party.
The National Council met. As you know, when the decision was taken, there was a lot of upheaval and dissatisfaction, let me put it that way, amongst the rank and file of the party. In the party, we have an organization where we listen. So the National Council listened, decided to meet, to talk about it. Basically, it did two things. It reaffirmed the commitment of the party to affirmative action policy on behalf of women in politics, especially female. The thought that in the circumstances of what was taking place in the party, it would postpone the coming into effect of the decision we took, withdraw it for the time being for a fully fledged policy to be worked out, which will be taken to Congress so that it becomes full party policy. I think it's a good result for all of us in the party. Obviously, I mean, you get half a loaf instead of the whole loaf, you'll be disappointed. But I think that is the nature of progress. It's systematic. And the whole of the affirmative program for women across the world hasn't been a question of getting it in one go. It has been a system of incremental step by step. And I think that the NPP has taken a very firm step towards the goal of equity and justice for women in public affairs.
Well, still on this particular issue, this decision by the National Council of the NPP, my colleague MFR Eli Atiamo has been speaking to Asin North MP Kennedy Ejapon. Take a listen.
The policy on affirmative action has been rescinded, according to the General Secretary. It is a way to show that the NPP is a listening party. What do you make of this decision?
Well, I support the decision of the National Council because initially we argued in Parliament and said that although the policy is good, the timing was bad. It was too short. So we should go and talk to those who have shown interest to contest women so that they'll step down for it. But it didn't work. See, I told them it was going to create confusion and there will be a lot of independent candidates. But of course, when the majority speaks, you cannot change anything. So it's good that National Council has taken the decision based on the agitations that erupted. So I think it's in the right direction. It shows that one person in NPP is not above anybody. The ordinary people came out on the streets, argued, they demonstrated at the party headquarters, and the executive took a decision to take it to National Council, and it's been reversed. So I think it's in the right direction. But I still maintain that women should be encouraged, to get involved, win more seats, and come to Parliament.
The women, don't you think this would be a big blow to them?
No, I don't think it's a blow to them because I was telling them that, look, you contested men and won. So what is the fear? We'll still support you, to win the seats and come back. But to give a fiat that a man should not contest female, it becomes a problem. And the public or the NPP supporters were raising a question. Are you saying that in a constituency where a woman is an MP means forever nobody is going to contest there? And it was a legitimate question that we all couldn't answer. And therefore, we've reversed the decisions. I don't think it's a problem. The women, like I said earlier, we still support them. We want more of the women to come to Parliament. And you see, NDC capitalizing on this. The number of parliamentarians we have in Parliament, NDC is more than NPP, but they have only 14 women, whereas NPP has 16. So they have nothing to say when it comes to women empowerment or affirmative action. So I don't have a problem with the decision by the National Council.
So is it a reversal or a deferment? Well, Member of Parliament for Ikuapem South, Obiamo, has been commenting on this particular one, and he insists the decision has only been deferred, not reversed.
We appear to be addressing the issue from top to bottom instead of bottom to top. For instance, if we were to be seen to be really serious about affirmative action, what we should have done initially, right from the beginning, if we were talking about affirmative action, even at the polling station level, to the constituency level, because of how we run our party now and the constitution, we have several slots for appointees. Probably we could have said that at the constituency level, where you have to make appointments, make sure that a certain percentage will be female. Then you come to the regional level, where you have appointments, make sure that you have a decent percentage. At the national level, where thankfully, because of how we structured the constitution, the amendments that we did, you have deputies, 2 deputies for almost every position. What have you put in place to make sure that even when you're appointing such deputies, you would have females? Once you're able to do that from the polling station up to the national level, when it comes to parliamentarians and you are bringing in that issue, then it sinks in and everybody buys into it. Everybody knows that indeed it's not only when it comes to female MPs that you think of affirmative action, but you have thought of it and through your appointments, you've tried to create that balance so that people will know that right from the bottom, you are implementing the policy.
Sure.
What we appear to have done was to start from the top, and that even getting people to understand it, getting people to know the implications, getting people to know even the political effects.
As political parties, and this one, because all the political parties seem to endorse the principle of affirmative action. So it's not as if anybody is taking advantage of it in any respect to politics. But as political parties, because of the structure, you have rank and file, so to speak. Usually, if you want to do some conscientization, how do you do it? Is there a trickle-down approach, or sometimes there are decisions that need to be, you need to survey?
Well, it depends on the decision we want to take. Some you have to start from the grassroots and even end up at Congress, where the highest decision-making body would have to buy into it and say that this is what the whole party has decided. Way forward, this is how we need to go about it. Some too, at NEC or National Council level, once you take the decision, you just communicate to the rest of the party that this is the decision we've taken, so let's comply. So it depends on the issue, but for this particular one, I believe should have come from the bottom to the top.
Wow, okay. Let's do some more on this particular subject. Now, I've been joined on the phone lines by Jane Koe, who is the Executive Director of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA. And, well, they have been championing this for some time now. But let's speak to her now and get to know her thoughts on this particular move by the National Council of the NPP. Hello, madam.
Yeah.
Good morning. Now, I would want to find out from you, what do you make of the move by the National Council of the NPP to actually review the action, the policy?
Please talk loudly a bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was asking what you make of the move by the NPP's National Council to, is it reverse or defer this particular move?
Well, I won't say I'm not disappointed. I am disappointed because I was hoping that the council will be able to stand by its initial decision to have a form of affirmative action to help women's representation in governance. But at the same time, we haven't given up because they didn't. It's not as if they said it was go altogether. I think they said they will pick it up again another time. So, well, for now, they didn't make it. But
so does that mean FIDA is going to let it slide for now, up until, say, November, when the party decides to take a second look at it?
Louder.
I'm asking, is FIDA saying by this that you're going to let it slide for now, up until, say, November, probably?
No, I think that what we will begin to do is maybe engage the political party, not only NPP. At least now, with the kind of uproar, you know, it may look negative, but now, believe you me, more people have heard, even in the rural areas, that there's something called affirmative action. We're hoping that more women will be represented. So now, when we go out to lobby and when we go out to do our rural grassroots work and get the opportunity to begin to explain it better, I think the ground, let me say, the ground has been kind of, what is the word? When you have killed, you are going to sow. The ground has been tilled. So just a matter of now sowing in the good seed of what we call affirmative action. So it is not a completely hopeless thing.
Okay. Finally, just before you go, madam, yourself, I mean, your outfit, FIDA, as well as WorldAF, you earlier vowed to use every means necessary, legally, I mean, to ensure that the policy is maintained. Are you still going to go by that, or you're just going to wait and hope that the NPP or any other political party, for that matter, takes the matter up once more?
Oh, when we say there are many ways of using legal means, you know, you can lobby. We are hoping that the bill will see the light of this. So we will need to work hard with the Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs. You know, if this is a legal means, doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to end up in court. No. I think we will first channel our energy into dialoguing and making sure that there is other understanding by the rank and file. Of course, we are breaking the constitutional rules, but we don't want to use that means now. I think the way forward would be to engage government so that government would live by its international obligations. And since there's the Ministry of Women and Children, and they have already come up with a draft gender affirmative action bill, let's pick it up from there, see how we can get government. If government, at the end of the day, if government is able to go by what the bill says concerning affirmative action, and make sure that we have the legal framework. The bill will be the legal framework on which we can stand, even if we want to go to court. It gives you stronger bargaining power before the justices of the Supreme Court. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so let's work and get the legal framework, the law in place, and then we can move from there.
All right. Thank you very much, madam, for your time on the show this morning. And that was Jane Quay, who is the Executive Director of the International Federation of Women Lawyers. There's a lot more coming up. Do hold on. We'll be right back after this.